Alex Pereira just became a two-time champion in two different weight divisions in only 7 UFC fights. He did it by TKOing Jiri Prochazka at 4 minutes and 8 seconds of the second round. Let's go through the fight, focusing on all of the striking exchanges and highlights to see how he did it. The fight starts, and the first strike that is thrown is an outside leg kick by Jiri Prochazka. Alex Pereira slides his leg out of the way, but that outside leg kick was there for Jiri throughout the fight. You can see he lands a good leg kick at 4:44 round 1. Alex throws a leg kick here, glances off of Jiri's knee. Alex throws another leg kick, Jiri pulls his leg out of the way. Alex goes for a spearing jab to Jiri's body. He is super good at these low jabs that hit around the chest area and is always seemingly able to land them successfully. Here we have Jiri feinting for a takedown, which I thought was a really good tool that he used against Alex. And instead of going for the takedown, he comes up with an uppercut, and it lands fairly clean as Alex is pulling his head away. Jiri goes for the overhand right. We saw Adesanya use this strike to great effect in both of their fights. Adesanya was able to rock Jiri with that exact same punch at the end of round 1 of their first fight, and he was able to land it on Jiri at the end of round 2, knocking him out. We also see Jiri is able to use this overhand right to actually land pretty big on Alex in the second round of this fight. Jiri goes for another leg kick. It just doesn't seem like his kicks are hurting Alex's leg the same way that Alex's kicks hurt Jiri's leg. We can see this is the first big leg kick that Alex lands. Completely knocks Jiri's stance off balance. And we can see also how bladed Jiri is standing. His feet are crossed, which is not great, and he's standing pretty much with his hips perpendicular to Alex. And then Alex is able to kick those legs. He really has no place to move them. And thus the impact of the leg kicks is really great, actually dropping him from that kick. Alex lands another big leg kick, and you get another big reaction from Jiri. And there's the third big leg kick. Look at how it wobbles Jiri's leg. Here we have Jiri throwing a combination, and we can see great head movement and footwork from Alex to get out of the way. So we have Jiri going with a right hook that Alex kind of blocks with his arm and gets his head away from. And then Jiri goes with a kind of an upper jab, kind of in the same form as a Sergey Pavlovich shovel punch. And Alex starts moving his head back. Jiri chases him, goes for a takedown attempt. It's more of a feint takedown. Alex is posting with his hand and pulling his leg away, and then moves to the side. And you can see he's very focused on not getting backed up against the cage. Whenever Jiri started pressing him backwards, he would always use good lateral movement, at least to not be a stationary target. Even though Jiri did a good job of pressing him against there, Alex wasn't making it easy for him. And you can see Jiri even lands kind of a little left hook arm punch on Alex, but really no power behind it. And Alex posts and then starts circling away because he doesn't want to get cornered up against the cage, because Jiri was able to do some good work. And a lot of Alex's defense, his striking defense, comes from his backwards movement. Another heavy leg kick for Alex. Jiri tries to start thinking of ways to countering it. This time he tried to reach down, but Alex's leg kicks are so fast, he just whips it out there, brings his foot back. So Jiri throws pretty much a right straight. He is in the orthodox stance. He has his hands so low, it's hard for Alex to see the punch coming. And the way Jiri just throws his punch, it's almost like a jab, just connects clean on Alex's chin as he's trying to move away from it. And then he doubles it up pretty much. So he goes from a right straight and turns it into a hook. But we'll see this later in the fight. But the way Alex throws his hooks is there's so much torque from his body, and that makes it so powerful. And Jiri's basically fully extended his arm, and it's just the momentum of the arm. There's not really any body weight behind it. And again, let's take a look at Alex's footwork here. He starts with his back to the cage, and when Jiri's throwing his combination, immediately starts pivoting away from the fence. Low kick from Alex. Jiri starts to counter these low kicks by throwing punches, which is a great idea. That's the main counter for naked low kicks. The problem is that Alex's low kicks are so fast, it's really hard to punish them. So we have a jab from Alex. Pereira slips on the outside of it, kind of crouches in, and goes for the single leg. And this is a big part of Alex's game and something that pops up later in the fight, specifically in the second round. Alex's takedown defense are these really tight hooks, which is his signature punch. So we'll see his first instinct as a kickboxer. He throws the jab, sees his opponent isn't close. He's like, okay, my opponent's close. What am I going to do? Throw my signature left hook. And in this case, it actually lands on Jiri, but really not enough. It might have actually just hit his antenna that he has. And Jiri is able to get the single leg. Alex does a good job of posting on Yuri's head, and he stays upright, but Jiri is able to push him into the cage. This is another big part of Alex's game. When he's getting taken down or anytime he's in the clinch, his first thought is offense. And so he's so good with these in-tight hooks. What does he do as Jiri pushes him into the cage? He just throws hooks over and over again into the side of Yuri's face. And even though those are just arm punches, the same punches I was just criticizing Jiri for some reason, he just has different power. So he's up against the cage. He has this guillotine attempt on Jiri. In this position, he should really abandon the guillotine and try to work on grips to try to lift Jiri up, dig an underhook, lift up his chest, forcing Jiri to break his grip. Jiri just lifts him up, gets him to the ground. On the bottom, Alex did a surprisingly good job of not getting hit on the ground. So we can see that his main strategy is to just stay safe. And we saw this against Jan Blachowicz. He did a good job of not freaking out, getting himself tired, or getting himself ground and pounded or submitted while he was on the ground here. And we can see that he does a good job of actually stopping Jiri from doing any ground and pound. I don't have every single strike Jiri landed, but I do have the biggest ones, and he really only landed 2 or 3 good shots on Alex, because we can see Alex does such a good job of keeping his opponent close to him. I think this can be directly attributed to just him training with Glover Teixeira, who has some of the best ground and pound in UFC history, and top control. And when you're training with a guy like that every day, you're going to develop good ground and pound defense. Jiri is in half guard right now, which is a pretty good position to land ground and pound. So you can see Yuri's trying to posture up, and Alex is holding this shoulder, which is stopping this arm from doing ground and pound, and then he's also got a hand on the tricep, stopping that arm from doing ground and pound. Every time Jiri postures up, he'll transition from holding the shoulder to holding the bicep, and it's basically like he has an inside collar tie on Jiri. Even though he's on the bottom, since he has an inside collar tie, he is doing a good job of stopping Jiri from landing any clean shots on him. Jiri tries to posture up. Alex grabs the bicep. He even has like pretty good knee pressure, and he kind of like forces Jiri to go back down. So good stuff from being on the bottom position by Alex. Here we can see again, he's holding Yuri's tricep, and he has his other shoulder. Transitions to hold this arm, overhooks the arm so he can't really do any ground and pound with it. Jiri tries to posture up. Alex reaches up, grabs the bicep, and pulls the shoulder, and he gets him back down. Just good stuff from Alex. Wrist control, grabbing the tricep. When he postures up, transitioning to the bicep, stopping Jiri from really landing anything significant. Although he is Jiri Prochazka, he was the champion for a reason, and he basically pulls his arm out, it's free, and he takes that opportunity to land a few really good elbows. So that's 2 elbows, but you can see it's 2 good elbows, like really good ground and pound. Immediately, Alex regains control, reaches up. Now he has an arm in between Yuri's elbow and him, grabs the tricep, pulls him back down. Really good defensive work from Pereira. He's not even really trying to hope the referee's going to stand them up or anything, but he just has good defensive instincts to stop ground and pound from Jiri. And then, of course, you can't really win rounds unless you get up, and he was able to get his back to the cage and does a good job of standing back up against Prochazka. He makes it back to the feet, and he has, even though his wrist is getting controlled by Jiri here, Jiri doesn't really have good control on him. He's got the inside collar tie again, and he uses that to kind of peel Jiri off of him as he moves his hips away, and he gets back. He breaks out of the clinch. Great defensive grappling from LX there. I know he took Adesanya down. He's never going to be an offensive grappler, but this was great from him. And we can also see he goes for strikes off of the clinch, which would force most opponents away. I also like this camera angle because you can see the welt on Jiri's pec that is from all of the spearing jabs to the body that Alex has been landing. And then we can see he's throwing punches. None of them land, but he's forcing Jiri to get away from him. Yeah, like, look at how red his chest is from those punches. And then Jiri, at the end of the round, the commentary seemed to think that was a good uppercut that Jiri landed, but it actually, if you slow it down, it completely misses Alex. Like, you can see the shadow of the punch on his shoulder right there. So it wasn't even close to landing. Alex, again, always circling laterally away from the cage because he does not want to get pinned against the cage by Jiri, and for good reason, because in the second round, Jiri does land a few good punches pinning Alex against the cage. So great top level footwork from Alex and positional awareness in the cage. Round 2 starts and Jiri kind of picks up where he left off, and his strategy, which seemed to work in this round, is try to overwhelm Alex with strikes. The problem is Alex is a insanely good counter striker and has knockout power in both hands. So it is not necessarily the best idea to rush him with strikes. You have to take it slowly. You have to try to beat him at his own game or take him down, something that we haven't really seen guys do. But let's see what Jiri Prochazka does here. He lands a good jab at the beginning of the round. I love this combination from Jiri. He's playing around with his backhand, his right hand, which he has cocked and loaded. He goes like he's going to throw an overhand strike. Alex pulls away, and you can see what he's loading up. He's trying to intercept that overhand right with a left hook of his own, and Jiri just kind of hangs his head back and throws the leg kick. Pretty good impact on Alex's leg with that shot. I love that combination from Jiri. I think he's such a creative striker. Here we have Alex landing a really nice 1-2. Look at this jab. This jab is perfect. It doesn't even land, but it's such a good rangefinder. Like, look at this. It's as close to landing on Jiri as possible, and Alex knows exactly what the range is going to be for his right hand, which is his power shot. And he lands a really nice right straight. Another one of those spearing straights into Jiri's body. Here we have Jiri throwing a combination. Let's actually slow it down and see what lands. So Alex does a pretty good job of hand fighting with Jiri for the majority of this fight. He also was hand fighting with Adesanya to good effect. Adesanya loves to hand fight, and I don't think the hand fight worked out for him, at least in the first fight. But Jiri kind of gets on the inside of it, is going for a kind of a wild overhand right. Does it hit Alex? Doesn't. So Jiri's overhand right misses. You can see Alex is already moving backwards, so the angle for Jiri isn't great. And then Jiri follows it up, posting with his left hand, and then he's going to double up on the right hand. So he threw the overhand right. So Jiri throws an overhand right. Alex does a good job of posting basically away from Jiri and also transitioning away from the cage. Another jab right to Jiri's chest. You can see his chest is red. You can also see redness on his leg, on his left leg at this point of the fight. I love this. I love this attack from Jiri. Jiri Prochazka versus Johnny Walker would be a crazy fight because both of them are crazy guys and both of them are extremely athletic. So you get a switch push kick from Jiri. And also look at the bruising on his left leg. This is 6 minutes into the fight. Just over 6 minutes into the fight, and his left leg is already bruised. That's man. Alex's leg kicks are no joke. This is a jumping switch push kick from Jiri. He is so creative and such a fun fighter to watch. Actually lands pretty well. I think one thing guys need to do more of is target Alex's body, because you are not going to beat him head hunting or in the leg attacks. Jiri does a good job. He landed a teep kick, and this is why I was talking about Alex being cornered against the cage and why this is a position he does not want to be in. Jiri does have him kind of right where he wants him. So he throws a head kick, pushing him that way. Alex, almost pushing Alex to the left here, or to Alex's left. Alex doesn't want to walk into Jiri's power hand, so he goes to his right. Jiri follows it up with a right hook to the body, which lands pretty well, pretty much in his ribs, right underneath his armpit. Alex moves and escapes out the side. Alex moves away from the punch and escapes out the side to the center of the cage. Here we have Alex hand fighting with Jiri. They're in opposite stances. Jiri's in his southpaw stance, kind of defending that left leg. Alex just goes lands a pretty good jab on Jiri. Here we have Jiri feinting a level change, and Alex throws a brutal kick. I don't know if he timed this or if he was just going to land it to Yuri's body, but either way, this was dangerously close to knocking Jiri out cold here. But he was able, his hand was between his chin and Alex's shin, so he was not actually knocked out with it. But Jiri has a crazy chin because that was a brutal kick, and you can see how, like, I know he's pulling away from it, but you can see the impact of the kick on him. Here we have every time Jiri went into his orthodox stance and put this left leg forward, it was like giving candy to a baby. Alex was just gonna crack it every time it was presented to him. And you get another good leg kick from Alex. Jiri pulled away from it, and it looks like it barely touched, but you can still see pain on Yuri's face and how he had to readjust his stance after getting hit by that kick. Another leg kick from Alex. Just buckles Yuri's stance every time he's hit with it. Another jab to the body from Alex. And these jabs don't look like they're the most impactful thing in the world, but I do think that it's a part of Alex's strategy to tire out his opponents, wear them down by kicking their legs, wear them down by hurting their bodies, and then finishing them up top, his power punches, which is exactly what he did to Adesanya. Adesanya was hurt by the end of the 4th round. He was really hurt. And here we have Alex going for a jab. It misses Jiri, and Jiri lands one of those arm hooks, cuffs Alex on the temple, and then he doubles it up, goes for another hook. And now we have Alex throwing a leg kick while Jiri is throwing an overhand right. Again, the strike that Adesanya had great success with against Alex. I think anyone that is going to be fighting Alex should watch tape. They should watch the 2 Adesanya fights and watch this fight and look at the weaknesses that Alex has on kind of this overhand right punch, because it lands pretty clean there and it pushes Alex back. Jiri has him against the cage. He's hand fighting with Alex, lands a knee up pretty much on the chest. Good knee from Alex there. And now we have Jiri just kind of doing Jiri Prochazka things, throwing pretty much everything and anything at Alex when he has this position of pressuring Alex up against the cage. And let's also take a look at the lateral movement that Alex shows. This is also a indication of what's to come when we see Alex throwing tight hooks as Jiri gets too close to him. In the words of the great Chael Sonnen, I cannot let you get close. And we can see Alex's first instinct again of just throwing hooks as Jiri closes the distance. Left hook, whiffs. Right hook, Jiri moves back. Jiri steps in again. Left hook again. Jiri pulls his head away from it. Jiri goes for a jab, has the hand so low, and then brings it up for an overhand right. Connects clean. Again, overhand rights. It's Alex's weak point, especially when he's pressed up against the cage and he can't move his head backwards because that is his main defense. Another overhand right. Alex had his arm out, and Alex is a little hurt here. He is not moving. He's not moving well, and he looks like he's kind of in a bit of survival mode. But again, he's always going to have that power, and as good as Yuri's chin is, Alex's chin is just as good. Jiri throws kind of a shovel punch, like a straight uppercut, almost like Wing Chun. Lands clean because Alex does not have great defense here. He's just posting, but he's not really moving his head. He's moving side to side with his lateral footwork, but not enough. Jiri throws an overhand right, again lands on Alex's temple, but we can see he posts, creates perfect distance, and then he throws a hook. If that hook connected, Jiri might have just been out cold right there. But Jiri is out of range for that punch, throws a left hook of his own, which misses, and then he throws a right hook as Alex is throwing a left hook. Both guys pretty much miss, and actually you can see the force of Alex's hook. Jiri has his arm posted on his shoulder pretty much, and the force of his hook pushes on Yuri's tricep and arm and forces him to pretty much fall to the side. That is just how much torque the guy gets. And it shows that his punches are more than just arm punches and are actually, the power comes straight from his body and how he twists his hips. Jiri lands a pretty good jab on Alex here, and he tries to set up another overhand right, but Alex slips underneath it. That could have put Alex out cold. That's kind of what Adesanya did to Alex in the second round of their rematch, which knocked Alex out cold. But Alex slips underneath it, clinches up with Jiri, and he's safe for now. They break out of the clinch. Jiri goes right back to the hurry up offense. He throws a lead left hook, and what is he going to do? So he throws a lead left hook, throws a right hand to the body, another left hook, feints a level change, and then comes up with an overhand right. It's hard to tell if it lands on Alex, but we can assume that it at least touches him. Goes for a jab that Alex pretty much slips. I think it scrapes the side of his face, and goes for another overhand right, but Alex always has this inside position, and it hits Alex's tricep, and they clinch up again. So we can see that Alex's main defense is trying to post with his hands, blocking Jiri's punches, also going for hooks whenever Jiri gets close, trying to knock him out, and clinching with Jiri. And Alex's clinch game is underrated. He has good punches and knees from the clinch, and he has a good way of breaking out of the clinch when he wants to. 2 minutes left in the fight. Alex lands another brutal leg kick on Jiri, and another one 4 seconds later. And these leg kicks is really why, even after round 1, I was favoring Alex to win the fight, because it is just hard to fight when half of your legs are compromised. Here we have Jiri getting close. Alex does his main thing where he throws a tight hook, and it actually cuffs Jiri pretty much on the ear. Jiri's pulling away from it, so he stays on his feet. Alex posts on him, and this is why I say Alex has an underrated clinch. Like, his knees and his ground and pound, his knees and his strikes from the clinch actually do a great deal of damage. They are deceptive in how much damage they deal. And look at this hard knee to Jiri's body. Jiri goes for a bit of a throw, not super well set up, and Alex kind of just stumbles out of the clinch. Alex throws a jab, Jiri pretty much dodges it, and then we see Jiri landing a good outside leg kick of his own on Alex's lead leg. And immediately Alex returns fire. Both guys getting good impact there, but Jiri's legs are hurt way more than Alex's. And I think there's something to be said about Alex fighting so many different kickboxing matches where his legs are conditioned to eat these kinds of kicks. Here we have a great combination from Jiri Prochazka. Reaches out with a left hand, which misses, then goes for another little left hand. Then he throws a left and the overhand right, which connects clean. This is the exact combination that Izzy landed in their first fight in the first round, where he throws a left and then he throws the overhand right immediately afterwards. And it is a glaring hole in Alex's game because every single fight he has, he gets hit with it. Jiri throws left hands as follow-ups, lands a good jab. He thinks he has Alex hurt in this position, but unfortunately for him, Alex's first instinct is not defense, but it is offense. He actually avoids an overhand right. He loads up to his right side. You can see how low his body is. Leans down low. How does he land this? Basically cuffs Jiri's neck with it. It's not even clean punch at all. Forces him to the side. Jiri is not looking at anything that Alex is doing. And the punch Alex has been looking for the entire fight, his left hook, crushes Jiri, goes right through his chin. Look at the impact of this left hook. This is vintage Alex Pereira. Crushing left hook, lifts Jiri off his feet and crumples him to the ground. Look at how he's throwing this hook. It looks so casual to him, and it's such a devastating punch. Lands it, Jiri's head is here. Look at where his head is after the strike. It's here. His head got lifted about a foot into the air. He's not even on his feet anymore. He got punched up into the air like a cartoon character, and he completely collapses. He's completely out cold right now. Jiri Prochazka has insane recoverability though, and he wakes up, immediately goes for a single leg. Alex starts going for hammer fists on a recovering Jiri Prochazka, and then transitions to elbows. Let's 8. He took 8 elbows to the side of the head. You can see the exact moment where Jiri Prochazka loses consciousness. His hands are connected, drops. Here's the elbow that knocks him out cold. Boom. It was that one. You can see he was standing up. His arms are connected here. After this elbow, he slumps. His hands disconnect. and he falls backwards. Alex keeps landing punches on him. Jiri is completely unconscious right now. He's on his back. He just fell backwards from being knocked unconscious by an elbow to the temple. Alex lands on him in full mount. Marc Goddard steps in. This was a perfect stoppage. Marc Goddard was on the action, watching intently and closely from the correct angle that he needed to, and he saw that Jiri Prochazka was knocked unconscious from eating multiple elbows to the side of the head and eating 2 power hooks, and he falls unconscious. Alex Pereira gets on top of him. Marc Goddard pulls him off, stops him from eating any more damage. This was a perfect stoppage by Marc Goddard and 100% earned by Alex Pereira. He took 8 elbows to the side of the head after taking 5 hammer fists after getting punched with 2 hooks. The guy was out cold. Perfect stoppage. In fact, you can argue the stoppage was late. Jiri even said himself after the fight that he was out cold. Look at this. He's just resting on his legs, and that's why he falls back. Let's take a look at these hooks again. Actually dodges the overhand right. It's almost like mid-fight he was able to adjust to the success that Jiri was having and come up with a perfect counter to it. Dodges, leans away from the overhand right, comes up with a hook. This is a super impactful punch right on Jiri's ear and neck. Rocking, that punch rocked him. You can see how it crinks Jiri's neck. Look at how it crinked his neck and shifted his head. That was a concussive blow. Jiri has a rock solid chin, and it takes a guy that hits as hard as Alex Pereira to land 2 of his most powerful punches and then hammer you with hammer fists and elbows to actually put Jiri out cold. Jiri shifts over to the right into Alex's most powerful and brutal punch. Lifts that he's knocked unconscious. Oh my god, the guy is so tough and Alex hits so hard. Jiri is already concussed from the right hook, and you can easily say Alex's left hook is twice as powerful as the right hook. It just crushes his face. It crushes his face in. You will be hard pressed to find a more crushing blow in cartoons than this left hook from Alex Pereira. This is perfect. Oh my god. Lifts him up off his feet. It literally lifts him up off his feet and he collapses in front of Alex. But Jiri is so tough that he immediately regains consciousness and keeps attacking. I love both of these fighters and I wish the best for them. This was an amazing fight. Great adjustments from both guys. Jiri going hard with the pressure that actually forced Alex to work hard to just survive. Going with the grappling, taking Alex down in the first round, landing good elbows on him. Look at these elbows. That's vicious ground and pound. Alex surviving by holding Jiri, using what he learned from years of training with Glover Teixeira. You cannot get lazy against Alex Pereira. He's going to fuck you up because he always has the nuclear option. This is a fight of 2 warriors and we do not deserve either of them. He pushes him into his left hook. I cannot get over how sick of a finish this was from both guys. Both guys made this fight. I love this fight. Let's just watch this left hook one more time. Perfectly placed, full power, lifts him up. I can't get over how amazing of a punch that was. Wow. Alex Pereira, he might get knocked out in his next fight. He might get knocked out 10 fights from now, but the guy is a legend.